The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is not your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we talk about the state and national sports betting reports. We talk about some deals, launches, legislative updates, pretty much any type of business activity regarding the sports betting and gaming industry in the country as well as internationally at times. Please keep the press releases coming in to us at info@turnpikesportsradio.com. If you're following along on the television side of the show, you'll see even more news stories that we talk about here in the show as well as other ones we don't hit scrolling along the bottom. And there will be a print version of the Turnpike Sports Book Report up on the Turnpike Sports Radio blog after the show publishes, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button and you'll see a full version in print of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. We're going to start off this week with a report from Fanduel.
Yes. Big news from Fanduel.
Well, it's annual report time for a lot of companies, and Fanduel has released their annual report. I should say Flutter Entertainment has released their annual report, and according to this annual report, FanDuel has now become the very first online operator to post a profit.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, you see all the numbers being thrown around, the handle numbers, the revenue numbers, but really these sportsbook operators are, certainly they're paying their salaries of the people working for them, and they're paying the taxes and things like that, but not a lot of them are showing a profit yet, and FanDuel is the first one to actually say, yeah, no, we got a profit.
Well, it's very interesting how a lot of companies also handle their profit reporting.
Yes, very creative accounting.
Yes.
So a lot of tax deductions
you even have companies almost reveling in it. I mean, you have DraftKings over there saying we're losing money, but we're going to do it in the long run, so just hang in there.
So.
But Flutter has released their annual report, and according to the annual report, the FanDuel brand has finally generated a profit of $14 million.
Great. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking billions being spent over the last couple of years, but $14 million is the first little slice of profit that they have shown.
That's what makes this business so interesting. The exchange of money and how it's recorded and where the money goes and how it's spent and the profits and the promos and the things like that. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. If you're an accountant in the sports betting business, you must be thrilled because it's such an exciting way to look at these numbers.
You do come up with creative ways to do the books, just to show exactly where profit is coming from and where it's not coming from.
Yeah.
Here, with regards to FanDuel, or at least the FanDuel brand under the Flutter Entertainment family, most of it's coming from the United States in terms of the profit. It's iGaming and online sports betting that they're talking about here. The majority of the money coming in of the $14 million profit. I can't believe we're saying $14 million is a great number, especially after they've spent, $1 billion last year in terms of marketing and acquisitions. But for the $14 million is coming from the more mature sports betting states or more mature casino states, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, the older ones.
Let me tell you something. FanDuel is one of my favorite sports books. That's like my go-to sports book. That's the first one I look at usually because I like FanDuel. I like their iGaming component. They have the casino and stuff like that up on top. Certainly their daily fantasy sports, I've gotten used to them playing on the daily fantasy sports. We used to read commercials for them.
Yes.
Their commercials are very interesting for the daily fantasy. They always gave me a script in where I had to put in my personal experiences of that week, and I always lost on daily fantasy. So I was like trying to turn a good point into a terrible point, and like Dave from New Jersey took $15 and turned it into $5.
Yes.
So something like that. So what's no, I have an affection for Fanduel. So that's always my go-to book, my go-to casino, and my go-to daily fantasy. So.
Well, with regards to fantasy, the way to spin it was, I picked this wide receiver and he had 45 points in that one game, for fantasy points in that one game.
I know. That was they gave me a script. I love the script. I had a portion to introducing the product underneath the deal, and in between they always say, Dave, put your personal experience of the weekend. And I was like, oh, boy, you really want this?
Well, Fanduel is, according to Flutter, Fanduel is, actually, the iGaming, let's do the breakdown. Fanduel Sportsbook operates in 14 states. Mm-hmm. Fanduel Casino operates in 5 states.
Oh, okay.
Which where the iGaming brands of Fanduel operate in 5 states. And it's kind of interesting in terms of the overall brands that they do include here. It's Fanduel.
Yeah.
TVG, which is the horse racing,
Love
greyhound
TVG.
racing, Fox Bet,
okay,
Poker Stars US,
yep,
and Stardust Casino, which also, I think on the platform it used to be Betfair, now it's Stardust.
Yeah. By the way, the Stardust is advertising a lot in New Jersey. They're really advertising, the golden age of gambling, and they're showing the old pictures of Las Vegas and things like that. That's how they're promoting it in New Jersey, the golden age of gambling.
Well, according to the annual report, in the fourth quarter of 2021, Fanduel brands are 31% of the market.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. Considering in New Jersey, anyway, there's about 25 online sports books.
There's 23, 24.
24 or something like that, yeah. So,
Colorado still has the most, of about 25, 26.
Yeah. So, what percentage are they?
Overall. This is online gaming, iGaming, and
it's
online
huge
sports betting, 31%.
Wow, that's huge considering how many there are out there. Yeah.
That's just the fourth quarter. And also for the fourth quarter alone, online sports betting. According to their annual report, I'm going by their numbers, 40% market share for their online sports betting.
See, that's enormous. I didn't know they were that big. I know they were great because I use them all the time, but I didn't know they were that big.
Well, in terms of market size, when you go state by state, like New York,
market share is huge for them. I didn't know they were that big.
They are them. FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM make about 90% of that New York market.
Wow.
Caesars is there too, but they're dropping out because they stopped their advertising.
New York, I always hear about Caesars. I mean, they're just I've seen Caesars.
You won't hear too much anymore.
I've seen Caesars commercials this morning. So they're all over the place marketing wise. Anyway, I guess they're going to curb that a little bit.
They announced they're going to pull that back. They hit their goal.
Yeah, I would guess so.
I don't know if they announced that too soon.
I don't know. But they have great commercials. They had the Mannings on. They have Halle Berry playing Cleopatra. They have amazing commercials.
But I think the problem with Caesars might be brand recognition in terms of when they're not in front of you, you don't think of them.
Well,
because I noticed when Caesars first launched in New York, they were the leader. First 3 weeks, they were the leader. Then they start slowly sliding down, and you got FanDuel as number 1, DraftKings number 2, Caesars there, BetMGM.
Yeah.
And I think it's a factor of they may have pulled their initial promo offer too soon, maybe.
I have no idea.
Because they were the $3,000 risk-free bet.
They're smarter than we are, so God knows they
I
whatever they did.
I shouldn't question.
How dare you question?
But again, it's just interesting to see them starting to slide further and further back. And
we'll see.
I'm waiting for BetMGM to maybe overtake not only Caesars, but also maybe one of the other ones. I know FanDuel's number 1. What if BetMGM jumps up into number 2 at some point?
All I know is I have a bunch of them on my phone right now. So
taking up a lot of memory.
They're taking up a lot of memory on my phone. But I think that's all I use my phone for. I don't even think I barely use
my
it for
apps.
A phone. Yeah, the least thing I use on my phone is my phone.
Yeah.
So So hey, why not?
Most of the time, I'm doing work on my phone on documents as well as doing Skype stuff, and the phone is secondary to the phone.
Yeah,
and that's kind of funny. Let's move on from the profit report from FanDuel to a little bit of March Madness. And March Madness has become more than just the brackets and the betting handle.
Okay.
It's a time when a lot of these companies bring out some of their big promos or big products.
Oh, okay.
In addition to like the BetMGM, that free bracket challenge that they run every year.
I did. I'm a part of that now.
I know
So,
a lot.
I have to check it. I don't know how I'm doing, but I
think
check it.
Bally's launched the bracket challenge as well.
Oh, did they?
Which
Okay.
was really cool.
Okay.
But it's also a time for expanded coverage. And given the fact that a lot of the sports books are getting more and more into content, it was interesting to see DraftKings partner up again with VSiN.
Okay.
They expanded almost to 24/7 in terms of bracket coverage on the DraftKings YouTube channel, VSiN, and a couple other areas for content.
VSiN is so much fun to listen to, especially during the games, because they're watching the games because they're reacting to the games, and they have some great personalities on VSiN. So I really enjoy watching them.
I just wanted to,
and listening to them. I listen to
really
them on
wish
iHeart.
I'm going to have to go back and look.
Yep.
I want to see their reactions to that first upset.
Oh,
Kentucky.
Oh, the Kentucky upset? Yeah.
Yeah.
UConn got upset, too, in the first round.
But
so,
nothing like that. I think that was...
Kentucky. Boy, that hurt a lot
What
of
did
people.
ESPN say
God.
was the fourth biggest upset in bracket history or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It was weird.
It's up there. So.
But again, and also there was the first report the next morning after that upset happening. I think... what was it, 192 perfect brackets remained after that upset?
Yeah, so,
after several million people...
That broke a lot of people's brackets.
It broke mine a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you actually made money on that.
I made money,
you had a bet that what rank 15 would beat a 2 or something like that.
I had in the first round 15 would beat a 2.
Right, so you made
that 2.
Yeah. Well, you made out. You made out.
That too.
I mean,
so.
you turned lemons into lemonade, I guess.
But in addition to increasing coverage in terms of content, we've also got a group like PointsBet.
Yeah.
Now, PointsBet just recently acquired a technology called, I want to get it right, Odds Factory.
Okay.
It's a proprietary technology where it allows them to create live data feeds. You know, when you're looking at a game and you see suspended.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have the technology now to avoid doing that. The latency issues are starting to go by the wayside for PointsBet.
And let me tell you something. The technology in this industry is amazing. It keeps getting better and better, especially with in-play betting. They're getting the data to a lot of people a lot quicker, which is great for betting. And, I'm just so impressed the development of the technology in this business. It's great.
Well, PointsBet has been leading the industry in terms of the live same-game parlays features that they have, where you won't see suspensions of odds during games, where you can actually do almost immediate live same-game parlay. And what they've done, this is the first time they're using it for March Madness. They've been testing all this stuff out. They did it during the NFL playoffs. Mm-hmm. They did it during a couple of golf tournaments where they had the non-suspension of odds and numbers coming into data. Mm-hmm. No latency issues, or almost no latency issues. So they've incorporated that into their betting features, betting options for the micro markets during the March Madness brackets this year.
Okay.
And it'll be kind of interesting to see how the technology handles it, because there's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
The bracket,
absolutely.
what was it, something like 200 games or something? And
a lot.
Yeah,
So, a lot.
And it's just crazy, where I remember when the industry first started, the big discussion was how are we going to handle the latency issues between the actual sporting events and the plays to getting the odds up onto the sports books.
Well, they're doing it. I mean, the technology is just amazing right now.
And again, it's a technology like this that can actually be used outside of the sports betting industry. The sports betting industry in the United States alone has been great for leaps in technology in terms of data transmission, data interpretation, interpolation, and it's just going to be kind of interesting to see where some of these tech companies go, because they're really tech companies. These books are tech companies, and it's kind of fun to watch some of these new products as they go along here. Moving over to some numbers, we're in what's called a lull for sports betting.
Really? I would think this is like a great time for sports betting.
Well,
I can't
you
believe
have
New
January-
Jersey's numbers. I mean, if this is what you're going to go into,
I'm going to talk about it.
Are you
yes.
I can't believe New Jersey fell under $1 billion in handle for the first time in what, like 5 months?
5 straight months of $1 or more billion.
They drop under the $1 billion in Super Bowl month.
Well, again,
Really?
this is not Super.
But, you know,
February
it-
was not Super Bowl month.
I know you told me a lot of states had their handles drop
oh yeah.
in February, which is shocking to me. I mean,
As
it's
far as
absolutely unbelievable.
As far as I've seen in all the reports, only one state has shown a record handle, and that's Louisiana.
Which is amazing.
It's a brand new market,
Sure.
especially in terms of mobile betting. Mobile betting's only really one full month into this February. They launched at the end of January.
Well, they also had an LSU quarterback in the Super Bowl,
And an LSU receiver.
and an LSU receiver. So I wonder how much that drove the market there.
Well, in terms of the Super Bowl market, I think Mattress Mac had a lot to do with that. one.
Yeah, right. He drove over from Texas
He
to.
he drove.
Yeah. Well, he drove over from Texas,
Yeah.
and he had to place a bet in Louisiana.
I think it was like $4.5 million,
I think it was like one of the biggest online bets ever,
if not the biggest.
Yeah. So I think it was a record. I don't know.
But according to the report, the February total handle, retail and online, was $238,413,000.
This is Louisiana,
This
right?
is a total handle record, retail and online together.
Okay.
First full month for online wagering in the state, $211 million, give or take.
Okay.
Again, first full month. Again, all other states were showing decreases. You had New Jersey, like you said, went down and did not pass the 1 billion mark. Here, let me read off some of the downs here. New Jersey, down almost 27%.
Okay.
New York, down about 10%.
And now
from
this is all
January.
February, right?
This is all February.
Okay.
Iowa, down almost 30% from
Okay.
January. Oregon, down about 10%. Maryland, down 21.5%. Tennessee, almost 20%.
Wow.
Everybody went down except Louisiana.
And Louisiana is kind of an interesting state because not every parish or county, as we outsiders would call them, they're
Outsiders. Okay,
but
that's
I
an
know
interesting
you
way
say
to phrase
parishes,
that,
you're
yes.
thinking churches, but these are
counties.
These are counties
Or townships.
Not all counties or parishes in Louisiana. You can't bet in every county.
No,
Some
there's
counties
like
they're
9
illegal.
counties. There are 9 counties that don't allow sports betting.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting state. So.
Well,
They broke a record, huh?
and they broke their record.
They broke their record.
Yes.
Their record.
But again, Louisiana was interesting from the very beginning because of the way those parishes operate.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a geotechnology company, geofencing, that's a test of your skills
Yeah.
to actually see how good your tech is. If you can't go from parish
like
to parish,
what we were talking about, the tech in this industry is absolutely amazing, and to see the evolution of the technology. I mean, I remember starting online casinos and online poker in New Jersey in 2013. The geolocation was terrible. I mean, I can play in one room of my house, but I can't play in the other room because they thought the other room was too close to Pennsylvania, and it was just a mess.
well, this is now 2 topics. We just talked about the tech.
Yeah, no, it's tech. It's doing great.
Well, we'll see exactly what happens in March because basically this is the breather month between the Super Bowl. February is the breather month between Super Bowl and March Madness. I know you don't want to say it that way because
The Super Bowl was
a
February
weekly-
13th.
it was halfway through
So
February.
it was halfway through February. There's no reason why there should
Most
be a
people
lull
still-
in February, but apparently there's a lull in a bunch of months in February.
Most people still do their Super Bowl betting in January,
Oh, okay.
and it's just the way it is.
Although January had some great playoff games.
yes,
For
actually
so,
some of the best I've ever
yeah,
seen.
I mean, it was a better game than the Super Bowl. So
Well, let's go from some of the numbers here to a job offering. That I don't think we've
job
ever
offering.
talked job
No,
offerings on this.
no. Get your resumes ready.
Yeah, we'll actually have to do an employment segment somewhere.
Yeah,
to
right.
do
Casino employment.
this.
Yeah.
Job openings.
Yeah.
The NFL. Given the fact that they've gone all in on gambling, it's about time they've done this.
Mm-hmm.
They are now looking, they've begun a job search or a search for a vice president, general manager of sports betting for the league.
Well, this came up on a couple of interviews I did. I mean, I interviewed the vice president of gaming for PGA. I interviewed the vice president of gaming for NASCAR, and I asked them both, is this going to be a trend? Are other sports going to be putting these executives in charge of sports betting. I mean, MLB, NFL, I think you're going to see this in all the leagues. You have to, just to keep it organized, just to keep it running properly.
Well, the NFL is looking for, and I'm going to read the job description.
Yeah, right. With the see what they wrote there. So.
The ideal candidate works collaboratively, which means you work with you play well with others.
Yep.
Builds consensus while anticipating future dependencies. Possesses strong interpersonal leadership qualities, and has a deep understanding of both the sports betting and the general sports business landscapes.
Okay, so I guess you just send your resumes to the NFL office in New York, right?
Basically.
So if anyone's interested out there to be the what's the actual title? Do they give a title that you?
Yes, they are searching for a vice president, general manager of sports betting.
There you go. If you want to do that, send your resumes to the NFL office in New York.
Basically, they want a guy who understands the actual betting industry, but also knows how to make the deals to make the betting industry.
Can you apply through LinkedIn or something like that?
I'm sure it's on there. Sure it's on there.
What's it? You Indeed, or is that one of those
probably
things?
Flooded with those things.
Okay, all right.
And also, they're looking for computer programmers.
Okay,
that can combine expert level skills with forward design thinking, which means they want
to create their own data so they can
Exactly.
license it and sell it.
They want their own game. Yes,
Yep.
yes, and digital gaming experiences is everybody's. Every sport right now wants that, especially like Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball actually had to carve out some gambling components in their new CBA.
Sure.
What was it? One was a hotline for betting related threats against players and their families.
Okay, and there was one. The league is forbidden to sell or license the biometric data of their players or any of the medical information of their
Remember,
of their players.
The league or the teams.
Oh yeah, the league or the teams. Yeah, and what was the last one?
Brand ambassadorships.
Oh yeah. They can go and look for brand the active players can look for brand ambassadorships from sportsbook operators.
And that's taking a nod from the NHL. The NHL allows active players to go get brand sponsorships.
Well, it makes sense.
Technically, it's not in their CBA, but it wasn't. It was and it wasn't. It was one of those things. So that's kind of some of the new, I guess, job offerings we're going to start seeing coming down the road. I mean, usually we're seeing sportsbooks doing compliance directors.
Well, one thing about the sports betting industry, it creates jobs.
Yeah.
You got to realize that.
A couple quick deals to hit before we're out of here for the week. Ocean Casino, well, this is a launch. Ocean Casino Resort release renderings of their new gallery bar booking games. I'm messing up the name now.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful. I can't wait. I guess it's going to be open this summer, right?
Yep,
Okay.
1,200 square foot venue, which features a 100-foot elevated bar.
Wow.
I don't know how high an elevation it is. Maybe it's a step up. I don't know. But it's an elevated bar and lounge, 59 seats, 12 slot machines, blackjack and roulette tables surrounding
which is
the
really
perimeter
cool.
of the bar.
I mean, it's a full gambling experience while you're drinking. So
and you're going to
you go.
And you're going to have 140 feet worth of LED walls lining the venue.
So you're drinking, you're watching the TVs, and you're going to get really dizzy from all the activity, and you're going to fall off the 100-foot elevated bar, huh?
Right.
Okay, just be careful.
Hall of Fame Resort.
They better have railings.
Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company just announced that, or they confirmed in their earnings calls, that they are partnered with Genesis Global for the online mobile platform in the state of Ohio.
Great.
The retail side is going to be handled by Rush Street. That's going to be in the hall.
Yeah.
So
sports betting right across the street from the Football Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Who would have thought that a couple of years ago?
Rush Street Interactive did a deal with Joaquin Noah.
Okay.
For brand ambassadorship in Illinois for both Bet Rivers and Play Sugar House.
Good.
Even though Play Sugar House doesn't exist in Illinois.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm assuming
I did not know that.
I'm assuming they're preparing for like maybe Florida.
Oh,
because he's played in Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
College ball.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know. Golden Nugget Sportsbook in Michigan announced a deal with Detroit City FC. It's the inaugural season for Detroit City in the USL Championship League. You're going to see Detroit City lines on Golden Nuggets online sportsbook in Michigan, but nationwide you're going to see USL lines on Golden Nugget Sportsbook itself.
I haven't bet on soccer a lot, so
I haven't had the urge.
I
I
don't know when they're playing. I know I don't watch it. I don't know when they're playing.
I'm just sorry. I just don't. I don't bet on soccer. Last but not least, Stake.com. Now they're the guys who had Drake using them to bet on the Super Bowl.
Yes, that was a big story.
They are a cryptocurrency sportsbook.
Okay,
and in addition to doing a deal with Drake for him to do some content with them, where he's going to be playing on Stake.com, and people can play along with him and win money based upon his winnings.
Oh, okay.
Stake.com just did their first deal with the Formula 1 and Formula 2 racing with the Fittipaldi brothers.
Oh, okay. Big names?
Fittipaldis are going to be not only having Stake.com on their cars and other places, they're also going to be doing Twitch streams.
Oh, cool.
Giving their insight on races and whatnot regarding Stake.com.
Cool.
So that's it for this week's book report. Again, if you've been watching on TV, there have been plenty of other stories scrolling along the bottom. And also, there'll be a print version of this, which has even more stories that we didn't have time to get to this week. Head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button. You'll see the print version there. And please keep those press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.